Hello. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay. Which topic we have discussed in the last class? Can you remember?
sir, we were doing programming with malloc function.
Okay. We have discussed the dynamic memory allocation for arrays. Okay. Okay. 7 members present till now. Okay. Let me show you that how to work with if we want to return an array, then how to return this array from a function. Okay. So say I have an array ARR, and each of this array is 10. Now just hello. হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ ক্লাস তো জয়েন স্টার্ট হয়ে গেছে। This is an array. Let me take the input in function and return.
Sir,
Okay. The input. So this function, I am defining a function. So the name of this function is fun. It will not receive anything. It will return an array. So if it returns an array, so I can write it in this way. Now within this function I am creating an array. I'm using static allocation. I'm not going to use dynamic allocation. Now using a loop, I'm just putting some values. So here I'm declaring a variable I, which will be used for iteration. So I equals to 0 to I less than n, or instead of n, let me say it as 10 I plus plus. This is the function which will prepare this array, and in this function, after preparing this array, it will return this array. Finally, this function is returning the array P. Okay, so I am going to declare this function. So I will declare this function here. So this is function declaration. Then I'm using this function main, and from this main function I'm going to call this function. So ARR equals to fun. If I call this function fun, then fun function will be executed. So this is the fun function which will be executed. It will create an array, and this array will be returned by this function. So this is my program. I will show you that what are the changes which are required for this program. Okay, error syntax this. Now if we return this array, now we know that array needs to be accessed by pointer. So when this function fun is returning an array, then it needs to be declared as pointer. So P, this array is being returned, and it is being accessed by pointer. Okay, now incompatible type assignment. Oh, sorry. So this ARR with pointer. So its address which will be accessed in this way. So it will not print anything because we don't have any print statement within this program. Okay. Now if I want to print any value, then say I want to print a value to check whether this function is returning this array properly or not. So let me print third element. Okay, so ARR 3. I want to print the fourth element here. Okay, so it will print 3, the value which is stored at pi. This value is 3. So p3 means ARR p3 is 3. So ARR 3 is basically 3. Okay, that's why the output is 3. So if we want to send here in this program, try to understand that in this program we are accessing it using an array. It's a pointer, because the reason why we can't declare this variable as ARR, okay, why I can't declare this variable as ARR, the reason is the address is immutable. So address is immutable means if we declare this array, then this is a memory location which has been created. Now later on I can't assign ARR, I can't update ARR by some value. Address, so ARR represents base address, so the base address cannot be changed. So if we can't change base address, then we can't declare this array in this way. So here basically we have to receive it using a pointer. We have to receive it using a pointer. Now this is a pointer variable, so the array which will be returned by this function fun, this array will be returned, its base address will be held by ARR variable, and using this ARR variable now you can, it is holding the base address of the p array, so you can access the elements of the array using this technique. Is it fine? Any confusion?
No, sir.
Okay. Now today we will discuss scope of the variables. We have already covered few things, so from the next week we will start structure. So before that we will discuss scope of the variables. So what does it mean? So I'm going to delete function definition. I will keep this line. If I declare any variable as, say this one is x, this x is local variable. Okay, if I want to print the value of x, then what will be the value of this variable? What will be the output? What will be the output of this program?
A random number.
So it's a garbage value. Okay, so any value can be printed because the x is not initialized. So if we use local variable, then some garbage value will be printed. We have not assigned it. Okay, now instead of, so this variable x is basically a local variable to this function. Now if I declare this variable here, I'm declaring this variable outside of any function. What will happen in that case? What will be the output?
Same, it will be a garbage value.
Okay, but wait for the output. This value is not garbage. This value is 0. Okay, please notice the output. Here the value is 0 instead of garbage. So if we have any global variable, it is being initialized by 0. If I have global integer variable, it is being initialized by 0. Even if we have not initialized it. But if I declare this variable as local variable, then it will be a garbage value. Okay.
Sir,
Now,
but then these conventions are very compiler selective, right?
Generally, this one is not compiler dependent. Generally, is there any compiler which is not supporting this? I don't know, but the standard compilers behaves in the similar way. Now, let me declare a variable float. So here, I'm going to print this. So this value is again initialized by 0. Now, if I declare this variable within main function, now it becomes a local variable. In case of local variable, for float or integer variable, we know that the default value is 0. Now, in case of local float variable, this value is, it is printing 0, but it may not be 0 always. Okay, so in this case, it can be garbage. In this cases, it is printing 0, but it can be garbage. Okay. Now, let me declare a character variable y, and I want to print C. So it is printing
Space.
Yeah. Okay. Is it the sound of this? I can't understand. Let me close it. Okay. So if we declare a variable within a function, then this variable is local variable. So this variable is accessible within that function only. I can't access it from other location. Like if I declare a function I'm going to define a function foo. Okay. I want to print it. I want to print the value of x, y. I want to print the value of y. This program will not compile. Okay, let me declare the function. This program will not compile because the variable y, which I am trying to access it from function foo, this function, the variable y is not accessible to this function foo because y is local to main. Okay, now if I declare this variable as global variable, then this variable is accessible in both of this function. So now if you want to print that value, then it is accessible. The program is compiling. Okay, then you may have a question that if I declare a variable as global variable without passing it to any function as parameter, we can access it. So what should I do? Shall I declare the global variables in future, or shall I declare the local variable and pass it wherever it is required? Which one will be acceptable to you?
Local variables.
Can you explain why?
Changing the value in global variables, it is difficult, sir.
Difficult means?
So global will be better because the scope
Okay.
is very high in that case. Scope of
Okay.
the variable.
Okay. Anything else? Any other comment?
Sir, if we initialize globally, then the call by value, call by difference value will be the same or not be the same outcome that we desire.
No. Not the same output means?
It will mean that it not will the correct output. It will differ in some.
No, in case of global variable, we don't need to use. First of all, I want to mention that C doesn't support call by reference. It's a basically pointer. We can access it using pointer. We are not accessing it using reference. Call by reference is different concept which you will learn if C++ is in your syllabus. The concept is completely different. So in C programming language, we don't have the concept of call by reference, even if the thing is written in many books. Okay, but it's not call by reference. The call by reference is a completely different thing. Okay, we don't have the scope. In C++ language, what happens that we can pass a parameter as a normal parameter, but when I'm receiving it using a function, at that time I'm calling it, I'm receiving it using reference. But function call is same as the call by value. But in case of function definition, where the parameter is being received, in the function definition we are receiving it as reference. So call by reference is different. C doesn't support call by reference. It's a call by value even if we use pointer. Okay, in case of global variable, the global variable is accessible from everywhere. So I don't need to think of call by value or call by pointer. If I want to swap the values, then I can swap it directly. I don't need to use pointer. If you know the syntaxes of the programming language, then if you do not have made any mistake, then the program behavior will not be unexpected. The logic, whatever you will write, accordingly it will behave. But the difference is basically we should not prefer global variable. The reason is its scope is very high. High means it is accessible from many places. So within the file, from anywhere you can access it. But each and every value, we do not expect that each and every value is accessible from everywhere. Okay, so just like that, if I say that when you are in college, then you have kept your key or bunch of key in front of your door. You have just locked your room and kept it at some place in front of your door. So obviously that is outside of the home. Okay, outside of the room. Now, do you trust that though many people can access it, but they will not access it? Only to whom I will say that you can access, only that person will access it. So programming and designing, so software will not behave like this. So if we want to restrict access, obviously I have to restrict it programmatically. Okay, I have to access it programmatically. I have to restrict it programmatically. So we should prefer local variables always. So variables will be declared within the functions. Whenever it is required within some other function, then pass it as parameter to that function. Okay, so this is the way how you can pass it, because global variables are sometimes problematic. I can show you in last few classes that why it's problematic, because till now whatever program you are writing, the programs are basically single page, single file program. But if we want to design any software, then it will have multiple file. It will not be, the whole code will not be written in single file. Okay, so if you have multiple file, then one file needs to be included in other file. Okay, so in those cases it will create some problem. Just I will try to show you, but I'm not sure whether I can this one is build file. Okay, I'm going to copy it. Software. Okay, just this is a software, so which is written in C programming language. Now you can see that this is an header file. Okay, .h, so it's a C header file. Now if I go to any of this folder, so these are the C programs. Okay, now just I will open one of this file. So this is alloc.c file. So this is a C program. So similarly, so in that C program, another environment.h header file has been included. So basically in one program, some other files needs to be included. So as a whole, having all of these files .c files or C programs, actually the software is written. So we have multiple C programs in a project. Okay, which is basically this GLPK. This is a project which is used for integer linear programming, to solve the integer linear program. Okay, so this is a tool. So the whole tool is written in C program. So you can understand that when you are developing any project, it will not be a single C file. It will be a collection of C programs. Now, if you have declared a variable x in say file 1.c, you have declared this x variable as global variable. Obviously you have declared global variable x, or just let us consider a scenario. Say Obhirup has written this file. Obhirup has written cfg.c. In that C file, he has used one global variable x. Okay. Now, say Dipanjan has written another C file in which he has used a global variable x. Okay. Now I am writing a program. I'm writing another C file. Now in that file, I need a function from Dipanjan's file. I need another function from Obhirup's file. Okay. So I will include both of this file in my program. So what will happen? Two global variables are there. Okay. So in my program, there are two global variables by the same name x. Now the system will be confused. Shall I access it from Dipanjan's code, or shall I access it from Obhirup's code? Do you understand the situation?
Yes, sir.
So this is the case. So if we have any global variable, then this access should be restricted. So basically, until it's a really global variables are needed based on our requirement, we should not declare any variable as global variable. Always try to use local variables, because nowadays when you are learning, you are in second semester, you have just started programming. At this moment you may think that no, it's working properly. If I declare a global variable, I don't need to pass it as parameter or argument to other function, so I can reduce my effort. But in reality, even if here you are trying to reduce your effort to by writing less volume of code, but actually you are creating some problem. So when you will work in a project, then there will be multiple files, and in case of multiple files, these global variables are very problematic. Okay. So we always prefer, but global variables are sometimes needed. Like if we want to share some data, I will not discuss it here. Okay, the things will be discussed in operating system class. So when you will be in probably in third year, you will learn operating system. There you have to write some program where you have to share some resource among multiple files. In those cases, global variables are used. Okay. Now let me come to the discussion again. My program. So this is the difference between local variable and global variable. Now I am coming to another variable type. This one is basically register variable. Okay. So just I am changing it to integer. Say variable y. Here I am trying to print it undeclared identifier. Okay, yeah, I have not accessed it here. Okay, here if I want to access y, I have to pass it to this function. Okay, if I want to access this y, I have to receive it as y. I have to pass it as parameter. In case of local variable, I have to pass it as parameter. So here I can call the function foo, and I can pass the value of y. Now there is another type of scope. So the scope is basically register. So the scope is register. So what does it mean? So basically the register variable is, I think you have heard of, we have discussed that in a computer within the processor there are different types of memory: register memory, cache memory, then main memory, and secondary storage. So registers are located within the processor, within the CPU unit. So where these registers are located, actually you can't, system will not be able to process any data until the data is stored in register. Okay. If I declare a variable I, so int I, so this value, so this memory is being allocated in main memory, that is in RAM. Now when, if I want to access this value, then the data needs to be loaded in register, then only I can perform any operation. So register memory is the closest memory of the processing unit, and in this case, if you have some, if you want to perform any operation on some data, then if you have any register variable, then these variables are quickly accessible. Okay, we have discussed it earlier. Just to recap, just for example, when you are reading a book, the book should be on your table where you are sitting right now. So this location can be considered as register. Now if I think that your shelf where you have some other books, so which you are not reading right now, those books are kept in shelf. So we can consider that this memory is basically cache memory. And if there are some books which are not kept in your bookshelf, the books are available in college library. If you want to access it, first you have to collect it from college library. You have to keep it, you will keep it in bookshelf. Later on when you will go to, you will read this book, at that time it will be kept in on your table. Okay, so if it is being kept on your table, it is being, actually I'm treating it as a, the value is loaded in register. So until our data is loaded in register, it is not accessible. Okay, now if I declare a variable as register variable, these variables are quickly accessible because the variables are already loaded in register. But the variables which are not register variable, normal variable like we have used earlier, that it's a int x. Okay, so that value is kept in RAM. First it will be loaded in cache, then from cache it will be loaded in register. Then if you write x plus plus, then the operation will be executed. Okay, so if I declare a variable as register variable by adding this keyword register just before the variable declaration, it indicates that the value will be preferably stored in register, but we are not sure that the value will be stored in register. Try to understand. The value will be preferably stored in register, but the value may not be stored in register. It may be kept in RAM, it may be kept in cache memory also. But we are instructing the system to try to keep it in register. Okay, so what kind of values, whether all the variables will be kept in register? If I declare 100 variables in my program, then whether I will keep all the variables in register? The answer is no. Okay, can you keep all the books which you have in your bookshelf on your table? It's not possible. We have limited space. We can keep only few books on my table. Okay, so we have limited memory. So registers are very limited in a system. This is not more than 100. If the number of registers are very less, then only if the size is 100, number of register is 100, only 100 elements can be kept in this registers. So that's why whenever you are declaring a variable, you should not declare it as register. Okay, but the variables which are being accessed very frequently, in those cases the variables are to be declared as register variable. Okay, any query?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, so this variable okay, so this is the way how we can declare a register variable. So in your program, if you have written lots of register variables, so system cannot ensure, because number of registers in a system is limited, and obviously many other programs are also running. In my system at this moment only C program is not running. Some other applications are also running. Along with this, there are some system applications. If I open task manager, I think you can see the task manager. So if I open this task manager, there you can see that lots of other processes are also running on my system. So there are lots of other processes. So in every process, whenever a computation is being performed, so at that time the value will be, or the data will be loaded in register. So all the registers cannot be allocated for my program only. Okay, so it will be decided by the operating system, but we are instructing that yes, the system may try to keep this value in register, but it will be dependent on the scenario, how much resources are being used. Based on that it will happen. Okay, just as I can tell you that, okay, keep this C programming by Gottfried on your table. But is it possible that you will keep this book always on your table? No, you are not reading, you are not learning only this paper, so you are learning some other papers also. Just 1 minute please. Hello sir, শেষ হয়ে গেল প্রায়, মানে আর 5 মিনিট। হ্যাঁ 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 হয়ে গেছে। আচ্ছা 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 ঠিক আছে, আচ্ছা আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে, আসছি। না না অসুবিধা নেই, ঠিক ওকে। Okay, sorry. Okay, so you are not reading only this subject, so you are reading some other subjects also. So it's not possible that you will keep this book on your table every time. Okay, so that's the scenario. So if your table is free, you can keep this book. So we are just instructing the system try to keep this value in register memory, but it's not possible, and we can't ensure that the values, whatever variables you have declared as register variable, those will be allocated in register. We can't ensure it. Okay, so this is the case. And We don't have time today, so on the next class we will discuss another scope, which is static. It will take some time to understand static variable. So the keyword which is used for declaring a static variable is static int. If it's an integer type, then it's static int some variable name. If it's a some other type, then the corresponding data type will be there. So you have to add this keyword static before the variable declaration. It has many use. Okay, there are lots of application of static variable.
So to declare constant variables, constant value, static is used.
Constant and static, these two things are different.
So values of static variable cannot be changed.
No, values of static variable can be changed, but for constant variable it cannot be changed. Just I'm giving you that value, that I'm setting it x equals to 10. Sorry, y equals to 10. In this function I'm writing y plus plus. It will work. The program will compile, program will run. Okay, so static is not constant. Static and constant, these two things are different. I will discuss it, why static is important. Okay, in the next class I will discuss it, because it will take more than half an hour. Okay, just a minute. I'll take your attendance. Okay, fine. So do you have any query in 1 to 2 minutes?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. Then I'm closing this session today. Okay, so
Thank you, sir.
we'll meet during
Thank you,
lab.
sir.
Okay.